All right, so I'm gonna do a test between two products that remove rust irrigation stains off of vinyl siding. I'm going to be using One Restore and F9 Barc. One Restore is meant to be used straight. F9 Barc says you can use it 1-to-1 up to straight. On stains like this, I'd say these are pretty heavy. So I'm starting with 1-to-1 with the F9 Barc, and I'm going to go straight with the One Restore like it calls for. I'm gonna start with the One Restore. It's kind of hard to see, the writing has worn off, but that's what it is. So I've already wet the surface like it calls for. I'm going to spray One Restore over this way. As you can see, it's already working really good. And then I have Barc 1-to-1. I'm going to spray it. This is where the One Restore was. This is the area that has not been treated. I'm going to spray Barc on these stains. So the One Restore, it's only been a couple seconds. One Restore from here over, Barc 1-to-1 from there over. I'm wondering if maybe it's because the Barc is 1-to-1 and not straight. The Barc is working still, but it's taking a little bit longer. So I'm gonna wait a couple minutes and see what happens. So it's been a couple minutes. There's still a little bit of stain where the Barc was sprayed. I've applied it several times on this side with the 1-to-1. I've only applied once from this side with the straight One Restore. So I'm gonna rinse it off, and I'm going to test straight Barc on this stain along with One Restore. All right, so I filled another spray bottle up with straight F9 Barc, and we're gonna do the test on this other stain here, One Restore versus the Barc. So I'm gonna start with the Barc. I'll do Barc from that line that way. All right, so F9 Barc's been applied. I'm going to get my One Restore and go from that line that way. So the straight Barc worked pretty fast, and the One Restore is working about just as fast. It's been about 2 minutes. Both sides are equally clean. So I'm about to rinse, but as you can see, the straight Barc worked pretty much just as fast as the One Restore. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a cost analysis. I can get One Restore locally and I can't get Barc locally, so I'm gonna see what the price difference is. This side, I have 19 buildings with irrigation stains just like this, so I'm gonna figure out what's gonna be most cost effective for this project, and I'll pick that chemical because I believe that both of them do pretty much the same job. All right, I did a cost analysis breakdown on the two products used in the test, F9 Barc and One Restore from Eacochem. The F9 Barc came in at $53.50 for a gallon and $1.98 for 5 gallons. And the One Restore came in at $40.32 for a gallon and $1.66 for 5 gallons. I need roughly 20 gallons of chemical to complete this project. It's 19 buildings, and 2 of them took me almost 2 gallons. So $7.92 for Barc or $64.92 for One Restore. Now One Restore I can get locally. F9 Barc I cannot. You have to drive an hour to pick it up or have it shipped. So that's going to increase the cost as well. And then there's the factor that F9 Barc needs to be diluted when put on glass, and One Restore does not. As you can see in the test, the F9 Barc did not work as well as the One Restore when it was diluted. It worked just as good while it was straight, but there is a lot of windows that need to be cleaned as well in this project, so the One Restore is going to be a little bit better for that. So ultimately it's cheaper, I can get it locally, we don't have to worry about the glass, so I'm going to end up going with the One Restore on this project. I do think that F9 Barc is a superior product for rust removal. It does pretty much the same job as One Restore. It is something that I'll always carry on the truck. I do think it's a little bit better for concrete, and it has other applications. So I'm not saying that One Restore is better than F9 Barc, just saying that for this project and for me, One Restore is the chemical that we're going to go with for this project.